Bonjour. How is everyone today? Martin, Mike, good day. How's it going, gents? Little short notice for a stream. I keep going back and forth whether it's better to schedule these things well in advance or closer to the time, and if so, when. Like half hour, 15 minutes, an hour, 2 hours. I have no idea. I do find that, so here's my concern with it and why. Number one, I don't always know what time's going to be available. Still having coffee. I didn't finish mine. I should have brought it out here. But if I schedule it ahead of time, a couple hours ahead or the day before, then I got to ping you guys again when it's like, hey, live in 30 minutes or whatever. And I try to, whatever the hell is in my mouth out, not ping you guys over and over again. Because it automatically does when I schedule the stream. Anyway, so the plan for today is clearly car is still here. Situation on that is I don't have anything of value enough to get myself to that dollar figure. You know, if it was 1,000 or 1,500 that I needed to come up with, maybe. But like, even if I sold like my firearms collection, there's a couple in there that are going to get me, you know, a few $100s, and then we get down in the ones that are going to get me like $50. Printers, selling printers is hard. I'd need to sell like my 3 most valuable ones. I have to find somebody that wanted to buy them in range to actually be willing to come travel to pick them up. And giving up the one thing that keeps you sane in life seems like a bad fucking idea when you're, you know, already in a bad place mentally. So gonna contact some bankruptcy lawyers and see what I can do about that. Because clearly if I'm struggling with that, I'm struggling with other things, right? The thing is, I don't even have that much debt. I mean, I got the house and the car payment, and then, like, you know, I think less than $5,000 on credit cards. So it's not like a crap ton of stuff. I don't know. Anyway, so what we're going to do today is we're going to try to make this garage usable again. Yeah, we're going to try to make the garage usable. That's what we're going to do. Because this situation is untenable. It's like, I don't even want to be out here, and that's not great. Well, what? There's bug fixes. Anyway, so try to turn the AI tracking the whole body. Try to move this camera to a way that it's going to try to catch most of the garage. Move this printer out of the way. Okay, so here's goals. My gray toolbox there, I need to have access to it. I also need to have access to that shelf. The shelf that has the Nerf stuff on it. I'd like to be able to slide the car over a few inches so it's easier to get to the printers and to the filament. Because right now I can't even get to my filament. I want to get my air compressor hooked back up. I don't know if I have enough hose to be able to even do it, but we're going to find out. But that requires me like climbing over this workbench. So that's going to be real fun. You guys probably going to get to stare at my butt. So if you want to keep your girlfriends, make sure they're out of the room when my butt's showing. Otherwise, they might just go flocking this way. No. All right. So low-hanging fruit first, I guess. We've got a mop bucket. And a water jug. The water jug, I was going to throw away, and then I'm like, you know what? We're going to fill this thing up. I designed a new MXL Nerf head, and we're going to see if we can blow through a water bottle with a Nerf gun. They're your girlfriends. That's okay. I don't need any. I don't want any. The 3 ladies I live with every day are well enough for me. And more so most of the time. So trust me, I'm not looking to gather anymore. All right, I think I can put the helmet up there. Bump cap can go up here. This is a car washing thing. Then this is the mop bucket. All right, so we'll try to find a home for the car wash thing, but the mop bucket is going to go in the house. Put that in the stairwell or something to the basement. Listen, I need you to do your job today. Just focus on me. Fuck the rest of it, okay? You and me, buddy. We got this. All right. There's a bunch of crap down here. There's a bin with toys for my daughter and some cookware that I thought might be usable at times. But I haven't found any use for the old pans and stuff. So most of that I think is going to go. Yeah. I can't decide if once I get this sorted out, if I want to leave the workbench over here or not. So it would provide a much more open area to the garage. But it would also lop off a bunch of vertical wall space that I use for things. I don't know. All right. We've got the grill back there. All right, I got an appointment with an attorney on Monday at 1. So yeah, you do that. All right. Oh, that wasn't filament that the old lady knocked over early. It was caution tape. That's weird. I can't really get up there to do anything about this at the moment. Guys, I have no idea. I have no idea. No ideas whatsoever. This is on wheels. So it could be moved in some way, shape, or form. How's it going, man? Havoc, David, how are y'all doing on this fine Friday morning? This can go with my daughter's bike, but I can't get over there to do that right this second. So I think I can put that right up there. Let's move the shop vac for the moment. You're breathing? Yeah, that's about all that can be said over here too. Although, do I want to be is another question. You have a bunch of restructuring you got to do as well. Yeah, so working on your shop to improve things can be fun when it's something you're doing because you're trying to make things better. Less fun when it's because you all of a sudden got a monkey wrench thrown into things. All right. These two rugs I'm going to toss out. All right. Let's open this door and go throw some shit away, shall we? Oh, I know it can always be worse. Life definitely makes sure that I remember that. All right. Threw away the two rugs that were over there. I'm moving that black mat that was in front of the freezer over there. I will. I'm just taking some stuff out to the trash. Toss that. Toss this. No idea what that is. All right, excellent. There we go. Put the rubber mat over there. Yeah. All right. Camera, stop following me. Hi, camera. Hi. Hi. There we go. That's a good boy. That's a good. Who's a good boy? You're a good boy. All right, let's move this. There's a bunch of room back here where there used to be a fan that sat back here. Nails and drywall stuff can get moved over. This camera. Are you having a hard time there, bud? Watch me, keep watching. It's like if you can't tell if you don't see my face, you don't know what in the world I'm doing and you don't follow me. You're like, you have turned your back on me and I will turn my back on you. David, I did not mean to be rude, man. I did not mean to be rude with you. I feel like I was, and I apologize. Martin, good news. I found a dart. Put that drill back there. Okay. She said no. She said she won't go in. There we go. Will you go in now? There's that. Oh, come on. Yeah. But it's it doesn't give me an excuse to take it out on anybody that's trying to be nice. Brad, how's it going this morning? No. No. That's the worst part about being in pain and being in bad situations. You tend to take it out on those around you that are trying to, just be there for you. That's the worst part of it. Because you don't want to. You don't mean to. All right, so. Now, we've got a pressure washer. Whoa. It'd be great if I didn't fall flat on my face. Camera. Hi. Hello. Hello. All right. Take it out. What is wiring? Okay, how's it going? Ooh. I left my Mario Kart Capri Sun. Still tastes okay. Got a ladder. Other than stealth burner, A4T can use the stealth burner tool head. Brad, thank you very much for the sticker. I think that's called a sticker, right? Much appreciated, brother. It does. It does, Mike. Like I said, all I was calling bankruptcy lawyers. So if I can get that sorted at some point in that process, should be able to move this fucking car out of here. So I think, I don't know. I'm assuming that like they would notify whoever and it would kind of like put everything on hold while that process goes through. So, yeah. All right. Power washer out of the way. Chalk blocks. My brother-in-law's coming over this weekend to do his brakes, so I need to keep those out. I need to keep the I need to get the air compressor hooked back up. Jack stands need to be accessible. My daughter's extremely upset because she misses her swing that was out here. Yikes. Hey, there's another dart. Like I said, I spent a lot of time last night thinking about things I could try to sell to make that money. And I own a lot of crap, but I don't own very much that's worth anything. One, I guess that means I live a somewhat simple lifestyle, right? I don't have any fancy jewelry I can sell or anything like that. I used to. When I was a goldsmith, I used to. Just because you would not believe the discounts. When you get a $10,000 watch for $100, you know. Yeah. So everything that's in the basement is destroyed. I've actually been... So here's something that's really irritating. You know when you're the guy that everybody calls to come help out when they're in the jam? And you show up no matter what? All right? And you're the guy that they call when there's a situation that nobody else can fix. Shit goes real sideways and they need a wingman for that. And you're the guy they call. And then the second you call anybody to help you, like a fucking ghost town, all you get back is crickets. Nobody even responds to your text message. That's what my basement has been like. When did that happen? Back in the spring? I posted that video of my basement flooded. And I've been trying to get people to come help. And now it's like, I can't even really do it myself. And everybody's got a reason they can't come do it. It's irritating. I mean, sure, I'll list it on Facebook Marketplace for $6,000. Somebody wants to give me $6,000 for it, they can fucking have it. Yeah, I know. There's some people in this community that would show up. There's some people in this community that would drive hours to come help me if I asked or allowed them to. But I would not. Walked away from a lot of friends. Yeah, so here's the thing, man. As far as friends, right? So I grew up in Jersey. I lived there till I was 26 years old, and then I moved out here to Ohio. I think it was 26. Might have been 27. Let's do the math on that. 26. I was 26 years old when I moved to Ohio. Man, it's been a long time. Anyway, so I had a couple friends back in Jersey that would be there thick or thin. All right. So no question in my mind, Joe would have showed up. Jimmy would have showed up. Yeah, without question and without a doubt. When I moved out here, I've never never been able to make any friends. I've got some associates, people that I associate with at like work and stuff, but they're not friends. They're not showing up if I invite them to a barbecue, and they ain't inviting me to their barbecues. I know this because I've never been invited. And also, when I've invited them, they've not showed up. And if they're not going to show up for free food, they sure as hell ain't going to show up to help lug nasty crap out of a basement. So I think what we're going to do is just try to every Wednesday on trash night. Plus, I don't know that trash collection would necessarily appreciate me putting that much crap out there on the curb all in one day. Yeah. So there's the stuff in totes is fine, but the stuff that's in bags or boxes is definitely not. So I think what we're going to do is try to, like every week on trash night, just take one or two things out of there. You know, one or two big black trash bags and lug it out and get rid of it. What really sucks is, like I said the other day, we were the only ones with kids for quite some time in the family. So we're the only ones that had baby clothes and baby stuff. And as people have had kids, we've tried to donate. We saved all of it to give to people. And for better or for worse, so this is what I have found, right? And it is my experience that people, when they have their first kid, they're like, oh, I don't want any used stuff. I want everything new and shiny and sparkly. Only the nicest, newest stuff. I don't want that nasty stuff some other baby's worn. Or some other baby is used. I don't want that old pack and play. I don't want that old height chair, whatever, right? So it's really hard to get rid of anything. I'm sure once they start having second kids, they're going to be like, yes, please, give me all the totes of clothes you possibly have. Because every bit of clothing I had from my first is destroyed, because kids destroy outfits several times daily. I might need more than, the 10 onesies that I got at the baby shower. I need hundreds to get me through one day. But we haven't gotten to that point. And I don't know. Especially with your first one, people are giving you stuff. It's like, ooh, baby showers. Let's make a baby registry and all that crap. So you feel like you don't necessarily need to settle for something used. So it's been really hard to get rid of it. Most of that's in totes, though. Most of it's still good. But yeah, I've tried to get rid of it to family, to friends. Like, hey, you're having a little girl. It's going to be born the same time mine was. So these clothes are going to be like summer clothes at the right size, winter clothes at the right size. No. Absolutely not, Brad. We will get there. Like I said, I don't think the city would be very much appreciative of it. Yeah, so I wouldn't Goodwill it. I'd take it to Salvation Army. Okay, so little tangent from me. Okay, so I was at one point in my life at a place where you find out what actual charities exist in the world. Goodwill, not a charity. Salvation Army is a charity. They do a lot to help communities. Goodwill is a corporation. It's, everybody talks about how evil GameStop is. Goodwill is very much the same in the thrift store market. So if you have a local thrift store, normally those things, well, back when I was a kid, they used to all be run by churches, right? So if you have like a locally owned and operated thrift store, donate to them. If you don't, donate to Salvation Army. Donate to Goodwill as a means of last resort. You also check with, I don't know, some places like you know, oh, what are they called? Like shelters, women's shelters and stuff like that. Some of them require stuff to be new. Others of them will accept used stuff. If you can donate to that. I realize that this requires more effort sometimes and sorting than just taking it to Goodwill. But the fact of the matter is, if you live in any sort of big city or town, there's probably a Goodwill outlet. And if you walk in there, you will find out what happens to 99% of what actually gets donated. They go through, they take out the very best. The rest of it goes into big bins at a Goodwill auction outlet place where people buy it by the pound, right? Which is great for people that need it, but they overcharge the shit out of it, right? I went in there and bought some stuff for one of my daughter's friends a couple weeks ago, who was in need of some clothes. And I think I got like a hoodie, a jacket, 2 pair of pants, and like maybe half a dozen shirts. And it cost $20. While that's not too bad, it's also a lot of money for stuff that if I don't buy it, you're putting in bins, roll-offs, and it is going to the dump. So when the option is you pay a dumping fee or you give this shit away for next to nothing, I think maybe you need to reevaluate what you're charging. Just my personal opinion. Anyway, that's my rant. Donate to an actual charity if you can. Maker Viking, Captain, how's it going? Captain, I've been there. I actually got a lot of sleep last night. I got off of streaming last night. I streamed last night, right? Yeah, I streamed last night. I got off and just decided I wasn't going to do it anymore and went to bed at like 9 o'clock. Laid there for like an hour thinking about trying to come up with a way out of this situation. Came out with nothing usable, went to bed, and then woke up this morning at like, I don't know, 7:30 or something. So I got 9.5 hours of sleep, which is pretty good, minus the like hour or two that I was awake in the middle of the night. Yeah, Maker Viking, I imagine it's probably, you've got a pretty weird sleep schedule, sir. You got my sleep schedule and you live several hours ahead of me. Oh, also, congrats, Maker Viking. I saw that you got the site funded. And I was a little bit confused by your post. Are you fully funded just for this month and now you'll need to come up with it again in another month? Or is this like you're fully funded with recurring donations to cover the costs of the site? I'm just asking because I'm curious and I didn't understand and I'm sure some other people didn't. Six hours is normally what I would aim for in my day-to-day life. 8 hours would be a good night. Anything more than that, anything over 8 hours normally means I wake up with an excruciating headache and I am having a really bad day. just because I slept too long. The body does not like laying down for that length of time. It hurts to lay down and it hurts to sit down. Yeah. Yep. Understand, Captain. Pain is a weird thing. That's good. That's good. So so just to be clear, you need $400 a month to keep the site going and under development. Just to keep it active, you need $100, and then your developer tools you need to work on the site are $300 a month. Is that accurate? That seems absurdly high, man. They don't just like, I would think it would be like a $300 for a one-time purchase kind of thing. I don't know. Software. These subscription models are out of fucking hand. The only subscription model I happen to like is my Final Cut Pro for iPad. Costs $5 a month, but I only do a video every couple of months, so I can just cancel it and you join the Patreon. Awesome. So anybody that can help support Tinker Atlas, please check it out. Maker Viking. Let's do this, Maker Viking. I want you to okay. I have made you a moderator in chat. Please post up A, a link to Tinker Atlas, and B, a link to wherever your funding stuff is. That way, if people want to sign up Patreon, here's the thing, right? Peace of mind goes a long way when you're working on stuff, right? Knowing that your bills coming up are going to get paid is huge, right? So I know that, you know, hey, I got 20 bucks I can throw, you know, this guy's way to help with this thing is awesome, right? And it you know, got Tinker Atlas, the bills and the lights are on over at Tinker Atlas today. But if you can say, I don't know, whatever their tiers are, if you can say, hey, I've got you for, you know, a couple dollars every month. I know it's no skin off my back. I'm not even going to notice $1.99 withdrawal out of my account. And we get enough people to do a small amount, you know, on a Patreon or whatever he's got set up over there, so that he doesn't have to stress and worry about keeping the lights on the site. He knows that he's got the recurring income coming in to keep the lights on over there, and he can focus on development. He can focus on making that platform the social media of the maker world, you know, the Facebook of maker world. Because let's be honest, I hate Facebook, and I'm sure a lot of you guys do too. And if there's a community, rather than having to deal with everything else that gets posted on Facebook, so that you can be a part of a Facebook group or a community, if you can do that without that, I bet you really enjoy that, you know? Cut out the noise, so to speak. Thank you. Thank you for posting it up. Yeah, I saw that you had your the ender up and printing, man. Have you started on your process of, you said you were turning a some enders into a Core XY 2.4 thing? Yeah. I bet you'd be a lot less tired if you didn't have to stress out about this every month. Because, yeah, it's like a weight off your shoulder today, I'm sure. But then you immediately go, shit, I got to do this all over again. And start off trying to figure out for next month. And if you didn't have to do that, I bet simple things like getting sleep would come a whole lot easier, sir. Streamlabs is yelling at me there. So a message from my billing department. If you'd like to support this channel, you can do the same thing for that. Also, if you missed last night's stream, we've got a somewhat new plan going for content moving forward. We are still going to continue to do all the projects that we do. Okay? But if anybody comes in and says, hey, I've got this issue. Can you help me with this problem? I can't figure out this. How do you do that? Whatever it may be. We're going to stop whatever we're doing, or at least I am, and we're going to go and we're going to try to help that person either get it fixed or figure out where to go next for diagnosing the issue. It might be, hey, change this setting, run another test print, and let me know how it turns out. All right, I'm going to create an entire channel in Discord for it. But if at any point during any of my streams, somebody comes in with an issue, I'm going to try to help them, and I'm sure you guys will too. So please, if you have issues and you would like some help, I don't know everything. Clearly, we watch me struggle daily. But every bit of knowledge that I have, I want to help give back to the community. Can't do much, but I can do that. Really wish I could turn that the other way. Well, Mike, I'm going to need you to go ahead and pick up the phone, call the nearest urgent care. They're going to have you come in. They're going to have you pee in a cup. They're going to test that to see if you have blood in your urine for, like, I don't know, urinary tract infections. Then probably have you maybe go over for an ultrasound, see if you got kidney stones or anything like that. You have a 260-pound lung. Oh, Jesus. Ugh. Well, it's not ideal, but at least I can open the drawers in this thing now, and I can get to that, and I can get over to this. What's the lid size on this? So 34. Yeah. I hate that toolbox being so far away from where I work. I made that toolbox so it could be right next to where I was working. It's your 19-year-old? Oh, God. All right. Okay. I have to get to this stuff more often than I need to get to this stuff. We're going to rearrange that. And then we're going to put this ladder here. Put that back there. And put this. Now the power bar in my toolbox is plugged in, so I can recharge my screwdrivers and stuff. Panda Revo for $40. What's a Panda Revo? Oh, so bamboo nozzle, bamboo hot end that uses Revo nozzles. Yeah, sounds like $40 was a steal. The way the world's going, you know. Hey, if you start sitting around your house naked, maybe your 19-year-old will just move out on their own accord. I did not. What happened with FlashForge? I guess we could probably just go to YouTube and look up FlashForge. Filters. Why am I not able to filter? Oh, really? So what you're saying to me is that you are checking everything that I print on a FlashForge. Good to know you're spying on me, FlashForge. Listen, here's my stance on it, right? I don't care how you feel about firearms and all that stuff. If you take that out of the picture, right? Because this isn't about that. It's about the fact that a company thinks that they can sell you a product and then dictate how you use it. Okay? It would be like Klein selling me this screwdriver, right? That is a 5-in-1 screwdriver. It's got, you know, flathead 1, Phillips 1, Phillips 2, nut driver. And then telling me I am not allowed to use this to put in screws longer than, an 1.5 inches. Excuse the fuck out of me? You're going to tell me how I can and can't use my tool? Or them telling me that I can no longer use this as a hammer? I paid for it. I'll use it how I see fit. They're not cheap screwdrivers either. Exactly, Cody. If you want to try to tell me what to do, you better be writing me a check. Okay? Or I better be 6 and you ought to be my mama. check the beer fridge. Dear FlashForge team, I am reaching out as a long-term member of the 3D printing community and a content creator with this is from Loyal Moses, with a large US-based audience of makers, engineers, educators, and hobbyists. This morning, I came across your social media post dated November 13th, stating that FlashForge does not support or condone the 3D printing of firearms or weapon components, and that such activities could result in account termination or referral to the authorities. Here's the thing. You can refer me to the authorities all you fucking want. It's not goddamn illegal. I understand that companies must balance legal obligations and platform policies, particularly across international markets, but I believe this message, as presented, could have serious unintended consequences for your reputation in the United States. The U.S. 3D printing community strongly values creative freedom, hardware ownership rights, and resistance to surveillance or user restrictions of legally purchased tools. Your post has already sparked significant backlash online, with many makers expressing concern that FlashForge is crossing a line from policy to policing and alienating a large portion of the American consumer base in this process. I want to be clear. I am not writing in anger. I'm sending this email to offer you the opportunity to consider how this message may be perceived in a constitutional or cultural context very different from other regions around the world. If this post was a misunderstanding or overly broad in tone, a public clarification could go a long way in restoring trust. If not, I feel it's only fair to let you know that this may result in a measurable loss of sales and support within the United States market, and among creators like myself who prioritize user rights and tool ownership above all else. I hope this message is received in the spirit it was intended. I would be happy to discuss further if helpful. Sincerely, Loyal Moses. You know what? Kudos to him. That's an excellent email. Yes. So I know that there is a mix within the community on their standpoints on firearms. And that is okay. Everybody is entitled to their opinion. But when it comes down to law and constitutionality, it is in the United States 100% legal to make and manufacture your own firearms. Always has been. I know that there are some states within the union that disagree on that and make laws trying to prevent that. One that immediately comes to mind is New York, with their trying to institute background checks to purchase a 3D printer, which is laughable for so many reasons. Anyway, that means that, Susan, who wants to 3D print and take 700 Flexi Dragons to the local, farmer's market or craft fair, now has to undergo a background check to make Flexi Dragons. Okay? Because like it or not, that's what most people do with them. Okay? Yeah, Massachusetts law is a little bit different. I got a story about Massachusetts and their firearms policies. friend of mine in Massachusetts wanted to, one of their family members passed away and had a pre-ban M16. Could not transfer it to him because of Massachusetts law, so tried to transfer it to me. I paid the $200 tax stamp. But in their provenance search, found that the weapon had been stolen, or they said had been stolen from an Air Force base, which I can believe because it was one of the original models without the forward assist and all that stuff. It was one of the first batches of M16s, and the Air Force was the first ones to get them for base security and stuff like that during testing. So it's entirely plausible that it was stolen from the Air Force. They didn't give me my $200 back, though. It was tactically acquired, yes. It was they strategically relocated equipment. They strategically transferred equipment to another location. That's what happened. But yeah, I mean, that is what it is. But they couldn't transfer it to him because of whatever Massachusetts law was, so they were going to transfer it to me. And it was like a year-long process because they needed to prove the provenance of the weapon. Anywho, so here's the thing. I live in a state where it's perfectly legal, right? I can make and manufacture anything I wanted out here. I don't. Because it's not something I'm interested in. I personally would not want to trust my life to a 3D printed anything. You know? And it might well hold up, but I don't want to be the one that has to test to find out if it does. Closest thing I get is making Nerf blasters. Yeah, it's about a company trying to dictate. And like I said, that means that FlashForge is spying on what you're doing. They're gathering all that data of what are you doing with their machines. Are you 3D printing firearms? Are you 3D printing toys for your bedroom? Whatever it is. How many Flexi Dragons are you printing? Have you paid up your Patreon to Cinder Wings for the 3D printed dragon you're printing? We're going to report you back to Cinder Wing. What are you talking about? Yeah, so you could even sell or transfer, but you'd have to fill out a form and get a serial for it in order to do so. It's just the way it works. You can fill out paper and get, an SOT and become a manufacturer, whatever it is, But like I said, there's no debate on what is legal and not legal here. It's just a question of a company overstepping their bounds and a foreign company trying to dictate to Americans what they can and cannot do. Like, excuse me, you don't write our fucking laws. We do. Yeah, it was written before 3D printing, but it doesn't matter. Yeah. I would argue that's a bigger blunder than the Elegoo situation for sure. Don't get me wrong, the Elegoo situation kind of sucks. But that's a whole different can of worms versus what we're talking about here. And like I said, I know some people are going to disagree with it, but we're not. I don't know. I'm not discussing whether things are morally right or wrong or anything like that. It's just a function of what's legal and what's not legal. There's ways in place to change that should enough people want to. I don't know what to do with these. These are strips for sockets. Yes. These need to go up there. What to do with the pressure washer? Yeah. Like I said, it sucks. Hopefully somebody else will come along and fill their shoes. And then apparently I saw an Uncle Jesse video where apparently they walked it back a little bit saying, hey, we are still working on it. But I think what happened, so let's be honest, here's what happened. They sold a shit ton of Century Carbons. All right? They have limited resources within the company. They're trying to develop what comes next. All right? As they're trying to stay with the market. Which makes more sense? To take your time, your limited amount of resources, both, man time, engineering, finances, and dedicate that back to creating a multicolor unit for a printer you released a year ago that is already sold. People already bought them. You're not going to make any more money, right? You're not going to sell any more of those machines, or take that and divert that into building and developing what comes next. All right? And that is just what it is, right? Ford doesn't waste time developing and engineering new stuff for their 69 Ford Mustang. The 69, Mustang, awesome car. But they're not going to actively develop Ford anymore. They're working on next year's car. Well, not even next year's car. They're working on the car for 5 years from now. All right? And I understand that it is extremely frustrating to be promised that something was coming and you bought something on that, assuming that it was coming. Right? It sucks. Right? I got a Century Carbon down here. Thank you, Brad. Much appreciated. This thing is fucking awesome. Even without multicolor system on it. Would I have liked the opportunity to, you know, throw another? And here's the other thing, right? Let's be honest. It's a $300 printer. You're going to develop a multicolor system that's probably going to cost $300. Right? If you develop an AMS system, you're looking at $300. But looking at what the Centauri Carbon 2 is doing and going the 85X route, you're not even looking at that. You're looking at, you know, two, you know, extruder system things to push filament to the tool head and pulling it back and forth. So that's probably what they were trying to do for the Centauri Carbon, right? You weren't going to get an AMS. You were going to get an 85X style or A1, probably more in line with what you got with the A1 line of Bamboo printers, right? Which is essentially what the 85X does. It's just mounted on the printer rather than separately off to the side. So that's what you were looking at getting, but you paid $300 for the printer. You're going to balk at a $300 add-on. You're going to be like, whoa, hold on a minute. Why am I paying $300 for a multicolor system for a printer that only costs me $300? Right? And part of that $300 is packing, shipping, and all that stuff. So to roll that same system over to another printer that includes it, you can include it with that printer for $200, let's say, because you don't have to create new packaging. So if anybody's worked in manufacturing, the cost to develop packaging for a product, you would not believe, right? You gotta design a box size. Then you got to have a box manufacturer make those boxes for you. And then you've got to design the packing, the foam, and all that stuff, and produce that. You got to produce a whole new manual. Then you got to put these things on a boat and ship them. The logistics and development costs for that is a very large portion of what you're getting in a $300 product. It doesn't make a whole lot of financial sense to do it. And we may not like that on our end, but as a company decision, it does not make a whole lot of sense to do this late in the game. If they did it and got it out 2-3 months after the printer release, that'd be a whole different story, right? It might be worth it, because then that's going to sell more machines. You can include it with some of the machines or whatever. It's going to make more sense earlier in the life cycle of the printer. And let's be honest, life cycles of the printers is short now, right? Bamboo's, you know, people were crying because Bamboo hadn't released a new printer in a year. And when's the next new thing? It's only been a year, not even. You know, a car manufacturer develops a car like this Elantra, right? And by and large, they sell the same car for years. They put a new model year on it. They tweak a few little things inside. Maybe they change the instrument cluster or whatever. But 95% of the car and the manufacturing of it stays exactly the same. They don't have to create new lines to put this car together again, right? Because ripping out assembly lines and reconfiguring them to do a new model is a lot of work, right? And even when they rework the entire car and it's a whole new model, right? After 5 years or 6 years, and they've changed the body lines and stuff like that. They're changing out dies in their stamping machines and stuff. Like, that's a huge cost. And even that is only changing just a little bit, right? It's changing how it looks a little bit. but they're probably using the same engine still. You know, they're using the same standard for bolts and all that stuff. They're not changing everything. I don't know if this is going to fit over here. Move the wand because it's just going to get knocked off. Scooch this back as far as it'll absolutely go. That's it. All I get out of it. All right. Now let's put this wand over here. Are you guys still there, or did I lose you with my ranting about Oh, hold on a second. A bunch of stuff just popped. Whistling Diesel was arrested for tax evasion. Yikes. Still here. That's weird. I saw Dalton Knockett's comment, but everything between David's comment for I saw the Elegoo situation coming a mile away. The next thing I saw was Don't Knock It's 100%. And all the messages in between weren't there. And they just all popped up at once. That's really weird. Just put that back there. I don't know what to do with the giant AC unit. Grandma's cast iron frying pan I redid. Tell you what, that's one of the best performing videos I've ever done on the channel, was redoing the cast iron frying pans. I need to do the same thing with this tea kettle. I don't know what to do with all these monitor stands. They were reviewing my messages for compliance. Yeah. Fucking. Somebody just woke up over at FlashForge yesterday morning. And I go, you know what? What's a good way we can alienate half of our audience? This goes with this. Toolbox, but there's no good place to store it with the toolbox now that it's been removed. But I don't want it to get lost. Just in case. Put that up there. I need to be printing stuff, but I can't get over to my printers to print anything. I bet they are trending. I'm sure they were trying to score points with somebody, but it might have been a bit miscalculated. This is for monitor stand. This goes with this little portable air compressor. I need to get this air compressor going for no other reason other than I need air in my car tires. They do. Oh, shit. It's right there in their name, isn't it? All right. I still haven't recovered from having to move all this crap in the garage on whatever day it was. Not yesterday, the day before. Wednesday. All right. Got a bag of some extremely large bolts. Some M12s. M12 by 90. Vince, how's it going? Uh, 10.5 millimeter drill bit. I'm not sure what I'm doing with a whole bunch of M12 bolts. Let's put the drill bit away. Can't really get to the toolbox very well because the whiteboard's blocking it. All right. No. Yeah. So it's just like, so I tried to work with a sponsor, and part of that was doing some CNC parts for a Nerf blaster. And I think they probably would have made them if you were placing an order, but they did not want to make them for sponsored content for firearms policy stuff. All right, so this will reach there. How long is this? I think this will reach over there. So I don't know this. Swap those hoses around. Should be able to get my air compressor hooked up. And I mean, here's my standpoint on that. I'm not too terribly upset about it. I understand their position. I don't think that that situation is even for any like reason other than the fact that their country does not allow it. They can't do it legally in their own country, and it's riding a borderline. And that's what they even said. They were like, it's riding a borderline for us legally there, which is fine. You know, you'd rather err on the side of caution. You don't want to incur issues with your own government for manufacturing things that they think you shouldn't be manufacturing. And absolutely, man, do not take that risk. You're too important to the community to risk that on one sponsored video, making like, absolutely, you know, like I said, I think if you were going to them just as a customer and you were paying and having this done, it would be no issue because it went through their review process fine. It's just like on the other end of it, when I'm like, you know, hey, this is what it's for, sponsored content wise, like it's, you know, it puts them in a gray area that they'd rather avoid. That's fine. I'm not here to dictate to you what your country should or shouldn't do. Got me all backwards because now I'm opening drawers with the opposite hand on this toolbox. So. So, I mean, there's a chance that... Almost lost you guys. There's a chance that Flash Forward has found themselves into a similar situation where their government is saying, hey, your stuff is being used to do X, Y, and Z, and we don't like it. So that possibility exists, I suppose. And then another pair of pliers. Holy cow. There we go. I was a lot stronger back when I put this together, apparently. Yeah. A little less on the Ugga Duggas next time. I miss Radio Shack, man. I guess Micro Center's kind of what Radio Shack used to be, or what we all wish Radio Shack had been. What are you doing, camera? Ugh. All right. There's hose. Yeah, it definitely was. It was a sad day. Oh, goodness. This camera is not wanting to stand up. Thank you for the gifted membership, Bearded Printer. Lester, welcome to the Garage Crew. Much appreciated, man. All right, there's our valve. Now I just got to get this hose off of there. Ah. Damascus, how's it going? Let's get over here into the SAE wrenches. Maybe we just need to move this for a while. What size is this? 5/8? No. Three-eighths-inch ID rubber tubing with metric size connectors on it. Tell me if that makes any sense. Shit, man. What must be from Canada? Did I miss something? Are you talking about the air hose? All right, now we got our short air hose. Fuck. Oh, the hose? Maybe. So, here, you guys want to see what we're working on? So here's what we're doing. So the air compressor is now back here in this corner. I've got to run hose from over there to the air filter, and that goes off. It goes up to a reel there, goes off to a dryer there, and goes off to my reel on the ceiling. So I just need to get from there to over at the compressor, and the line that was on that reel to that disaster on the side of it. It's long enough, I think, to do it. And the short hose that was on the compressor, we're putting from there up to there. That's what we're working on. Man, Italian sub last night for dinner. It was so good. You can't get decent Italian subs in Ohio. They think domestic ham belongs on an Italian sub. Like, no joking, you order an Italian sub here, you get hard salami, you get domestic ham. Maybe if you're lucky, you might find a place that sells hamicola. Ham that's supposed to taste like capicola. You get iceberg lettuce, Georgia sweet onions, and your choice of cheese. Anybody knows anything knows that an Italian sub is oil, vinegar, salt, pepper, oregano, romaine lettuce, or at worst, green leaf lettuce, red onions, maybe banana peppers as an option. Capicola, either hot or regular, prosciutto, Genoa salami, and a really sharp, dry provolone cheese. On a bun that's nice and soft in the middle and crispy as hell on the outside. That's what an Italian sub's supposed to be. And if you want that here, you got to do a lot of legwork to find those ingredients. You can't just walk into your local Kroger and buy them. Sure as fuck can't walk into Walmart and buy them. If you do find it, oftentimes it's this little pack of meats. It's like a couple slices of, Genoa salami, like 6 slices of capicola, and like 4 slices of prosciutto. And they want to charge you $15 for it, for this 1/4 pound of meat. So, little meat market that I go to, butcher shop and everything, to get all of my my meats. Chicken, hamburger, all that kind of stuff. I go to the meat market to get. So I went out there and yeah, we have Firehouse subs here. We have Jersey Mike's, which is an embarrassment to Jersey, okay? Listen, if you're going to name your restaurant Jersey Mike's, and you're going to sell sandwiches, you better make it like they make them in New Jersey. Hands aren't working. Listen, I can say a lot of bad things about New Jersey, but I will say they have fantastic food. I don't know that I've ever tried Firehouse subs. I can give them a try sometime. But yeah, I went in there and got some capicola, which they charge like $5.99 a pound for hot capicola. I think it was $6.99 a pound for prosciutto. $5.99 a pound for really good provolone cheese. And if any of you have bought the crap lunch meat in a grocery store lately, you'll know that it's hard pressed to find crap lunch meat for under $10 a pound, let alone premium high quality imported stuff. So unfortunately, the meat market's like a 40-minute drive away, maybe 30. I don't know. I think it's closer to 45. So that sucks. So it's not like I can go there very often. I normally go there, stock the freezer for a month or two. All right, well, I'll give them a try. All right, let's hook this hose up. This is going to go into this hose reel. All right. Unhook this. Hook this into the bottom one. Yeah. I need two hands. Yeah. Yeah. Fuck. Hook up the line that goes to the compressor. We're out in the workshop now. Now let's hook this pain in the ass up. I think that's good. Okay. Airline. So Brad, where are you gonna put these this Panda Revo in? There's that. Now we gotta get power back over here to it. Oh shit. Okay. Okay. I need some wire to make a new extension cord. see what we got. All right, there's nothing on either end of this. So this is going to do fantastic. Yikes. This is right. This compressor runs 220, which means I got to change out this plug and everything, and the wire's too short. So. There we go. Let's disassemble this plug. Yeah, no, we don't have our background music going. Get our background music going. That's probably really loud, isn't it? That needs to go back to minus 35. Yeah. Is that better? My mic is picking it up still. I said, is that better? This is not quite as heavy of a gauge, but running on 220 volt, it doesn't necessarily need to be because it's not carrying as many amps. Raj, how's it going? Yeah, thank God it's Friday. Remember watching TGIF on what was it, WB when you were a kid? After school. Tighten this up and our plug will be assembled. ABC, okay. Couldn't remember what channel it was on. So like Boy Meets World. Can't remember what shows we're on, man. Testing the new blasters. Good deal, man. All right, I'm tempted just to leave this cable the entire length of this. There's no good reason not to. But then I gotta get back to the electrical box on this compressor, which is going to be no small feat. Okay, looks like there's a screw the other side of that. So here's what we're doing. Right here where this cord goes in, I gotta get that box apart. But it faces the opposite direction of where I need it to be able to easily access it. Oh, that screwdriver ain't gonna reach it. I don't know if this one will either. I can't even see what kind of, I don't know if it's even a Phillips head screw on there. Let's look at the pictures. They're of no help. Let's do this. Video. Record. Stop. Oh. All right, let's try this again. We just need to know what kind of screw is on there. That's not focused. Screwdriver's not long enough. I need a short screwdriver, but want a short screwdriver longer than this one. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to see. All right, I'm done. Wire nuts. That's what we're going with. Is it the right way to do this? Absolutely not. Are we doing it that way anyway? Bet your ass we are. There's the right way, and then there's the getting it done. Absolutely. It worked in your grandfather's garage for 50 fucking years. It'll work here. We will put some good electrical tape on it, good thick rubber kind.
Saber blade. Seek the light in darkness.
Fuck, my hands are killing me. Fuck. All right.
Saber blade. Seek the light in darkness.
Stuck on my heat set iron. There. Got to pull the refrigerator out. Move this over. Move the trident. Holy fuck, my back. God damn it. Violating a long list of things the doctors told me not to do today. Oh, shit. Alright. Does it work? It works. Oh, hell. All right, guys. Gonna let this compressor fill up. The car tires way too low. I'm gonna grab something to eat. Thanks for hanging out this long. Hopefully tonight, live on Discord, finishing up the Stagecoach Blaster. That shouldn't take too long, and then I'll get a video out of the assembly tomorrow. Then tomorrow we'll I don't know, I'll suck it up and get to the printers to print the face for this thing, and we'll get this Trident back together tomorrow and onto the shelf. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Like, subscribe, consider becoming a channel member. Thank you to those who donated. It is very much appreciated. Yeah, all the things. Have a great day, guys. See you later.